What's up? We are back. We are back with another episode. Again, I'm Frederick. This is
Justin.
Yes, and we're just gonna get straight into it. There's a lot going on. Before we get into everything, how are you?
I'm good. Just been a lot going on.
Yeah.
I just came back from St. Louis from visiting family, and my niece went
Okay.
to prom, so we went to
Woo!
go see her off, and she looked absolutely stunning. Her prom dress was amazing. I love when teenagers look like kids.
Yeah.
You know
Because
what
let
I
me
mean?
tell you, prom it's been turned into the Met Gala.
Like how? Like I don't know when that
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
You
Kids
know.
looking grown as ever. When we was going to prom, we was wearing big old tuxedos. Girls had their hair done with the nice dresses from JCPenney. Now these girls going to designers and baby. But that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And how's the job and therapy? How's that going?
Yeah, the job is cool.
Good.
Therapy is great too.
Good.
It's just really good to just talk to someone. Listen, guys, you don't have to be sad to talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
You don't have to be depressed to talk to a therapist. Everything can be so content in your life, and you still need somebody to
Amen.
talk with,
Amen.
because it's really important that you talk to somebody consistent that kind of understands your life and how it's going, so they can really get an understanding of who you are, so in case something happens they can be really aware of like a trigger, or aware of if something is going to throw you off, and they can proactively treat you the way that you need.
Amen.
So it's been really great. My therapist is super cool. It kind of feels like a conversation, honestly.
And that's how it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to feel like. So yeah, y'all, please go to therapy.
A lot of y'all need it.
Cause let me tell you,
A lot of y'all need it.
We all need it, but a lot of y'all need a lot more. Cause baby, okay, but that's good. That's good. I'm happy everything's going well for you. It's far from me.
Yeah.
I have a procedure to do. I'm okay. So I don't want to get into details about everything, but I'll tell you more.
Okay.
But it's this is a medical procedure
Okay.
that has to be done next week. So just been dealing with that, mentally preparing myself for that. The new job is going well. Of course, the new apartment is coming together. So it's a transition. It's a lot of things, a lot of newness are happening. Just like I keep replaying what you told me last episode when you was like, we don't know how to navigate happiness. That struck me because it's like it was so true. You know what I mean? Like I did not know how to navigate happiness. So it was like I just been trying to navigate happiness, and that really, like when you said it, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. Like I'm thinking that I'm depressed, but it wasn't that. I just didn't know how to navigate all the good things or how to handle all the good things happening to me because it felt so surreal. So,
and newness comes with like just nervousness.
Yeah.
And we equate nervousness with something bad and anxiety, but a lot of times when something is new and you're on the right path and it's a great decision, you still get a pit in your stomach, so that's kind of conflicting when like trying to kind of assess the situation and trying to figure out, okay, is this like a good nervousness or is this a bad nervousness? All of that kind of like plays part in trying to figure out happiness.
And
That's confusing.
we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna take it one day at a time. I'm happy I have a community and a village. That's what you really need, a village.
It's a village.
You really need a village, especially being black, queer, black and queer. Like you need a double village because look, being black in America and adding gay to that, baby, y'all know. But okay, so that's enough about the updates. We'll get straight into it because there's a lot to talk about. First, we're gonna start off with the Met Gala. I liked it.
I was very excited. Like honestly, I feel like this year they toured.
Yeah.
I did. I think this one, and I forgot the other I have a few favorite Mets, but this one is one of my top, 5 favorite Mets.
Yeah.
And I've been following the Mets for years.
I think I first started following the Mets maybe around 2014 when it kind of like shifted to like Twitter and social media.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, because I never knew about the Mets before then, but I was like, okay, why is everyone excited about? And I was just seeing, how on Twitter you see all like the pictures popping up on all the blog pages.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I remember the first one that I remember like tweeting about was the one with Beyonce had that ponytail with the black and purple feather dress.
Yeah, I think that was Givenchy.
Yeah. I that was my first Met that I was like, okay. And then every year after that, I was kind of just like, oh.
Yeah.
So
that was like, what?
2013 was it? Or 2015?
I thought that was earlier than that.
It was 2012.
I think it was earlier than that.
I don't know, but that was my first Met that I remember. And speaking of, this is off subject. Remember last episode, we was talking about the song with Carrie Payton, like, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Baby, we was talking about it, and we didn't remember the song. Baby, I was already saying it. It was Dark Horse. It wasn't E.T., it was Dark Horse.
I thought did we not?
No.
Who said it?
I don't remember. Okay, but
Okay.
that's... If y'all go back and like the episode, y'all figure it out. Because I watched it and I was like, wait, I'm singing the song and then asking you, what's the name of that? Like, what's the name of that other song? And it was the song that I already sang. But anyway, off subject, but that was just fun. I just had to talk about that. I think one of my favorite looks that I remember from the Met, of course, Sabrina Carpenter ate it down, baby. Ate it down. I wish her hair was up.
Yeah.
With that hair, with that tuck she had on, but ate it down. Dolce, girl, you got upset with your team about giving you more umbrellas to hide your outfit, and you gave us that?
I think it was great. I think Doechii, I think she's a star. I think we really I think we want these kind of celebrities to be so perfect and to have like good PR training and good media training and all of this stuff. But it's just like, not everybody can be a Beyonce. Like, not everybody can be used to the celebrity and the chaos of things. Doechii is new to this, and this is something she always wanted, but it is her time, and so I think it is kind of, there's no kind of blueprint or rule book to kind of navigate in celebrity, and I think just in that moment, she was excited. I think, she really kind of wanted this kind of allure or this mystery, because she is the topic of conversation right now in the music industry. And I think, honestly, celebrities are not, they are chaotic and they don't say the right things all the time. And I think, because I even think about like Kanye. I'm not comparing her to Kanye, but like Kanye acts like that,
I don't know. To me, it was just like, it was just, you was screaming at everyone, doing the most to give us that basic ass outfit.
I liked it.
I didn't like it. I was expecting more from Doechii, and it wasn't that, but again,
I thought she would be in Tom Brown.
You know what? Honestly, I thought she was too. Because the way I feel like she looks better in Tom Brown than she did with Louis. Like, Louis Vuitton was cute, but Tom Brown just, I don't know, the colors.
Yeah.
It just brings something.
But everybody had Tom Brown on.
Tom Brown was the star of the show.
So I like that she went another direction.
Yeah. Pharrell's group was cute though. Pharrell,
nobody had on pants. I don't get that.
No, Future did. Or was it short? He was probably the worst dressed. Yeah.
Yeah, he had on pants. I don't know what was going on with
him. He looked like Chucky's son. Like, I'm telling you, I was like, what is that? I was confused. But another look that I liked was
Jodie Turner.
Turned
it out.
Keith Powers. Yeah. Janelle Monáe. I'm sorry. I think she's taking that crown away from Rihanna. Yeah. She's taking that crown away from Rihanna.
Yeah.
Rihanna, you look good, girl. You did. Congratulations on the new baby. Congratulations. But girl,
ASAP, get off of her.
ASAP, please. Look, fucking her down, baby. Okay, they are going at it 3 or 4 times a week. Okay, I think they going for that girl. They going for that girl.
I hope they get it.
I hope so too.
I hope they, yeah.
But
she deserves everything.
She's not gonna come out for a new album.
No.
That's done.
Oh my God, we could talk. We need to talk about off subject. I'm sure we can bring it back. But her new song with the Smurfs.
With the Smurfs, how was it? Is it good?
Everybody hates it.
Oh, and that's why she's not coming back.
Because she ain't resting that voice. You know she ain't taking care of her voice.
Yeah, and she ain't taking
care of her voice.
Rihanna is, we love you down, girl. Birthday twin. I see you. But the voice is, it needs some work. And, if she hasn't used it in a long time, it's just,
But she looked great. She looked great at the Met.
Oh yeah. She did. She did. She definitely gave, dandyism and all that stuff. I love it.
I would say top 5. She was
top 5?
Top 5.
I'll give her top 10.
Okay, that's fair too.
Because Jenna Ortega.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like when people step outside of the box.
Yeah, really and get the message. Get the message. Because you know what? Good. It was good. You know who else was also good that I didn't get at first, but I got now? Jeremy Pope. I didn't get it.
I don't. Oh,
he had like the little silhouette. Yeah. I didn't get it at first.
It just needed to be styled better. I think to really land it.
What it was missing, maybe was a hat.
Yeah.
Maybe a top hat or something. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, but it was cute. It was cute. Yeah. One look that I just. Okay.
Oh, okay. Are we going to like?
Well, what was your?
My best dress was. I think I wrote it down. It was Jodie Turner.
Mm-hmm. She killed.
She looked amazing. I did like Lakeith Stanfield.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought he looked great. Who else? Let me see.
You gonna say Tiana?
Oh, Tiana Taylor was definitely best dressed to me, and it was gaudy. It was a lot.
Okay.
It was a lot of stuff. I get it, but like it was just that's where you give the dramatics. It's at the Met, everything was just tailored perfectly. It was styled. It was it had like that little bit of ghetto-ness to it too.
Yeah.
With the do-rag, which I loved. And the theme was really showcasing black style, black men's fashion, and the tailoring component of a suit. Mm-hmm. And so I think she really brought that. She brought that masculine energy.
She did. She gives me androgynous vibes. I like Tiana Taylor more as a socialite than as a singer. Don't get me wrong. She has great songs. I like A Rose in Harlem. I think the music industry just did her wrong. But I love her as a socialite.
Oh, I love her as both. And I think I love the moves that she's making in the industry. Yeah. Because she's really at the right tables,
Yeah, yes.
That's what I love.
Yeah, and she's a great creative director.
She is.
I think she did Lotto for Coachella one year.
Oh, yeah, I think she did. Yeah,
and who else has she done? She's done Summer Walker.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of. She's a great creative director. Yeah. I'm gonna give her that. Yeah. I'm gonna give her that down. I've been looking at Tiana since my Sweet 16.
Yeah. I think Kanye kind of stunted her.
Yeah.
A little bit, but
Kanye West, he hinders people who think are better than him.
Yeah.
AKA Pink Wig Lady. He took her off that
not the
because
Pink Wig Lady.
She did in that song Body, was it Body? When she's like, you don't know Nicki, that whole verse ain't Kanye West song. He scrapped it because he's a nigga, you know what I mean? Like, no, she can't have the best verse to me, but you already did it in A Monster. She's gonna like that. Nicki ate that song up.
Yeah.
I'm not a barb at all, but I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Nicki ate that bar up, and Kanye West scrapped it from the album because she ate him up. Cause that song, right? Puff Puff Pass.
It was good.
You do not want to smoke. Bitches be hating on me, but be thinking they won't. Fuck up a check on my body. I mean, it's just cute. It's cute. But yeah,
I think Alton Mason looked great.
Oh yeah, I mean, I mean, come on,
the cheekbones.
He don't have to do too much. He has it.
Yeah.
So yes,
I thought Tracy Ellis Ross and Brian Tyree Henry, he did great too.
Do you think he's family?
Huh?
You think he's family?
Yeah, he is.
He is? Oh, is he like bi or something?
No, I think he's
fully gay.
I think so.
Okay, because I mean, like I mean, I love it because he's like.
Yeah, I think he didn't out himself, but like he was transparent about that. I think.
He plays it very well. Like I think Well,
he doesn't make it his whole identity.
He doesn't make it his whole identity. I like that. I like
because
that.
I think once you do that, you play into like identity politics, and then you get like kind of stunted or like pigeonholed into like one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like his work so far has been so diverse. You know, like he's played in like superhero movies. He played in ATL.
Yeah.
You know, and he played in so many different things, and you know that's why I love that it's like this is a part of me, but this is not the only thing I am.
Yeah.
I'm so many other things too. So.
And you know what? Like, speaking of ATL, I love that, like, both Lakeith Stanfield and, what's his name, Tyree?
Yeah,
Byron Tyree.
Brian Tyree Henry.
There we go.
Yeah.
They both kind of, like, elevated themselves.
Yeah.
To be, because both are great actors.
They
you know
are.
what I mean? And then they're always at the right event. They both go to the Met Gala every year.
Yeah.
They both have great roles. And it all started from their role on ATL.
Yeah.
And it was just like I love that, like, the whole cast really kind of just went on up. Because even the girlfriend, she was in a Marvel movie, or wasn't she? Or she was in good movies.
Yeah.
So I love that, like, all, like, the nucleus of the cast kind of like went up to be A-list stars.
Yeah, because they are not interested in the celebrity part of Hollywood. I think they're interested in the artistic side of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And that's how you play chess.
Yeah.
And I just want, a lot of these newer, artists that are coming out, whether they're actors, whether they are creative directors, whether they are singers, whatever, rappers, is to not get so infatuated with the social media presence of it all. Be really strategic in how you can move and, figuring out what tables are the right tables to sit at. And just kind of just move incognito.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Brian does. I think that's what Lakeith does.
Yes.
And so many great, respected artists that we kind of really cherish.
I feel like they're gonna be like our generation, like Denzel, Samuel.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They take on the right roles.
Yeah.
And they're A-list stars.
Yeah.
Like, to be at the Met Gala, they've been there for a lot. I mean, for many, I want to say maybe this is probably their third Met Gala. The Met Gala is the who's of who's who of Hollywood. So like, to be invited just lets you know that you're playing the right game. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Congratulations to them. I do applaud both of them. Let's get into the worst looks.
Okay.
Wait, before we go that, I want to talk about Tessa Thompson look, which I love.
I don't remember her look.
It was like a white lip. It was given Marc. I think she wore Marc Jacobs. It's like a baby doll. She had a top hat. She just gets it. I love me some Tessa Thompson.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she looked good. Was it Marc Jacobs she was wearing?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it was Marc Jacobs.
ate it down. Tracy Ellis Ross ate it down. I know Marc Jacobs' new lines kind of giving like Barbie, like a doll like type of feel. Ate down. Tessa. Girl,
Tessa always does great to me. I always
she gets the assignment every year. Every single year, she's the one that kind of like bring the thing to life, you know. And I'm like, this year was it was no different. Like she just brought the thing to life. So yeah, girl, congratulations.
Honorable mention, Zendaya.
Well, I was expecting more from Zendaya.
Let me tell you. I love when like people expect, because she's the man. She's fashion, right?
Yeah.
So people do want to give it to Rihanna, and I will give it to Rihanna too. She is
that crowd is
but like Zendaya is it for me when it comes
to
the Met, and I like the balance of being so shocking and daring and so fashion forward, and then coming one year out of the blue, just chill, relax, cool, not doing too much.
But I think the girl messed her up. The girl who kind of still like had the same look. I
can see why people think that, but let me tell you why I disagree. Is because the theme was about tailoring. Zendaya's suit was tailored down way better. Than I don't know who.
I don't know.
The Asian woman. She looked great too.
She did.
But like, it is about the posture. It's about the pose. It's about how she looks underneath the hat when she's taking pictures.
Baby.
It's about how she looks like she's literally on stilts because of how perfect. How perfectly flared the pants were tailored and how it hit exactly like on the ground.
Yeah.
It didn't drag and it wasn't too short. You couldn't see her shoe. Mm-hmm. Like, she looked like...
Yeah, it was giving mahogany.
Tall. Yes.
It was giving mahogany.
I think Diana Ross was her...
period. Because it was
her inspiration.
Because she looked...
Yeah.
Zendaya don't have to do too much. She's just...
That's why I love it. She's so cool. Like, she didn't have no big entourage. She didn't have no props.
It was just her.
She just really came, like, on that carpet and was just like, listen.
I'm here.
I'm me. I'm that girl, Yeah. And I think that is part of what sold the look for me.
Yeah. She's so confident. Like, she doesn't have to say much. She just do it.
She just do it.
And
she's so good.
That's it. So, Zendaya was one. Yeah, definitely honorable mention.
Yeah.
But worst look, I can't think of mine right now. I forgot all of my worst looks. You know any?
I don't know who you are. I don't know your name. But I need the girl to come to the altar. The one that wore that red lace outfit, and she had like white panties on, and she had that red durag. It was like a red durag that she had. It's
very vague in my mind, but I think I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name, but while you look for that, Kiki Lauren. Girl, you looked a mess. Okay. I did not like Keke Palmer's look at all. Who the hell is that? Baby.
This one. Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh.
To focus it.
Her.
There
we go. Oh, wow.
Her.
Mess.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's a mess. That's a mess. Who is that? Is that Charlie? No, not Charlie.
I don't know who that is.
What's that girl that sings Bang Bang?
Amelia Gray is her name, I think.
Well, Amelia, no. Okay, we gon' that was. Who is on your team, girl? Yeah. Who is on your team? You hang with the wrong team. I'm gonna get you a better team, girl.
Winning team. Yeah, but Kiki was not great.
Kiki was not great at all.
It just didn't make sense.
The hair.
She's committed to that ginger hair, and it just didn't.
It just didn't do it for me. I think that's the only one I can think of right now on the spur of a moment. With Kiki, girl, I don't know. Kiki's kind of been clicking down for me a little bit,
She's not really a fashion girl.
But it's not even that. When she did the interview with Jonathan Majors, and she had to scrap that one down. And then I heard she has a new song out, like Confessions.
Yeah.
Talking about the issue with her baby daddy. Girl, that's your business, that's your thing. Nobody gives a fuck anymore about that. Like, sorry. It's so unfortunate that you went through that. It is, but we have moved past that. You went back to him, and we let it go. So,
I think that was her lemonade, maybe.
It was more like, what's a drink that's nasty but similar to lemonade? Kool-Aid with no sugar.
Crystal Light.
Crystal Light. Good news. Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times in jail. How's the knife? That's what I want to know. How's the knife? Knife, if you can speak out, how are you doing? Because I'm more concerned about how the knife is than how Tory Lanez is. I don't give a fuck about Tory Lanez and his receded hairline getting stabbed. But it's excellent news. Excellent news. The bad news is that he's alive and well. He's alive and well. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Uh-huh.
I don't even think he got stabbed.
You don't think so?
You know what? He's such a stunt queen.
14 times.
You should have been dead.
And he got stabbed in the head, right? And okay, just go on and go. You know what I mean? Just go. Because I mean, I thought about that as well. Like, you know, did he really get stabbed? Because getting stabbed 14 times in jail.
And then it's such a coincidence because then, you know, the bodyguard, Tory Lanez, came out and said that Kelsey.
Girl, at this point.
Which I don't even believe because.
I don't either.
You mean to tell me that Tory Lanez, somebody who yells it from the rooftop of, you know, I'm innocent, you're going to take the fall for somebody that you're not even with. You got a kid at home.
Yeah.
And so you're going to leave your kid because you're trying to protect somebody that you're not even with.
Right.
Kelsey. That doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
If, you know, this was something that was incriminating, then I'm going to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody else shot Megan and not me, I'm going to say that.
Yeah. Especially if I don't know you, we just fucked around. I'm not taking the fall for you. Who's doing that? Not me. And
so that's why all of it is just a bunch of like,
but you know
rock
what?
shit.
I watched a lot of shows like How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal. Someone put Tory Lanez's bodyguard to it to do that.
Yeah.
To make it seem like Kelsey is the one that shot. It doesn't. The whole moral of the story is that Megan wasn't going to say shit about the situation. Tory Lanez opened up his big ass mouth and started talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. You are the cause of your own downfall. So it's your fault that you're in jail because Megan wasn't going to say shit about it.
The state picked it up.
Yeah.
The state pressed charges.
But it's because, like, it was because of him talking shit. Like, you should have just kept your mouth shut. Period.
And then going back to the voicemail that leaked, like, you know, in the beginning of all of this mess, or like the recording between like Tory and Kelsey, what was he apologizing for? If he didn't shoot.
Oh, yeah.
If he didn't shoot Megan.
Yeah.
There's too many holes.
I feel bad for Megan because I'm like, Kelsey was your best friend, and like to have the situation kind of like, it's Megan is a resilient person. To be going through all that she went through, to have the whole world talk about you, have the whole world doubt you, and you're still coming up on top.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
I think we'll never get to the bottom of, you know, who shot who. Or who shot Megan.
Yeah.
I don't think we will never get the absolute truth.
But I believe Megan. Megan said Tory shot her. Tory shot
well, I believe there was like maybe embellishments even on her side, but at the end of the day, she got shot.
She got shot.
She got shot by somebody in that car, whether it was Tory, Kelsey, or the bodyguard. Something happened. Somebody shot her, and nothing warranted her getting shot.
Exactly.
Unless she was shooting at other people,
which I doubt that. So, Tory Lanez, whatever.
But yeah, I'm not. The whole story is kind of like annoying to me, and like I kind of want it to go away.
The opinion of people,
it's like
so ignorant.
Yeah,
ignorant is just like, especially coming from black men. Like, oh, free Tory, free Tory, free Tory. He ain't do that. It's no. Black women.
Yeah,
talking about free Tory, free Tory. He did nothing wrong. And speaking of one person who said free Tory, and then 24 hours later got his ass in jail. Good news! Chris Brown is in jail in the UK. He will be in there until June 13th, and his tour is supposed to start June 8th. So Team Breezy, what y'all gonna do? What's going on? Are y'all gonna get y'all refund? Because I hope that he had to cancel all his shows in the UK. I hope he stays in jail. He needs to stay in jail.
Oh my God.
He's an abuser. He's an abuser. Abusers support abusers. And the fact that you went and said free Tory, and then not even 24 hours later, your ass is in jail. The UK approved your visa because they knew that they was going to lock your ass up. Okay? And they're like, we need him here to get locked up. And the minute you got off that plane, your ass got locked up. So now you're going to be in there till June 13th is like what? 3 or 4 weeks away?
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your what kind of food they got in the UK? Some beans?
Beans and toast.
Beans and toast, baby. Because let me tell you this. Chris Brown, I just do not get, like, he has multiple accounts with abuse. You know what I mean? Court cases. The only thing iconic about Chris Brown are his court cases.
You know, in a perfect world, I would love for Chris Brown to be a changed man.
just not gonna happen.
It's just not gonna happen. Like it's just I can't excuse anything.
And you know what?
It's so hard to be a fan of Chris Brown.
I can't
because I am a fan. I mean, like, listen, I like the music and the performance.
But you know, I can't.
I think he's very talented. But I mean, just
So did you get tickets to his show?
I didn't. I was going to.
But hopefully the show still happens. Hopefully it still happens.
I kind of want to still get tickets.
We gonna pray for him, y'all. We gonna pray for him.
I like the artistry from Chris Brown. I try to understand that some people can separate the two.
Yeah,
some people can't.
I can't.
And it's really your prerogative.
Yeah.
So
I'm the type of person that I can't separate the artist and the music. Like, I can't. So it's like
for me, it depends on the person. Some people I can, some people I can't.
Okay, Beyonce, you think you can separate? Well,
no, I would be able to separate.
I think I.
Oh yeah, I would be able to separate. That's what I meant to say.
I do it. A lot of people have stories about Beyonce, and like, she's mean and whatever.
I don't hear those.
You don't hear those stories? I've never heard those stories. And I'm like...
But like, what type of mean? Because people said that Kamala was mean, but Kamala was doing her job.
I feel like Virgo mean. Virgos are kind of mean.
Yeah, like if you are getting in the way of her creative process, if you are gaslighting her, if you...
She's not going to stand for it.
If you're giving her energy that she doesn't need while she's trying to create, then get out her way. Like who's gonna be nice in that moment?
Especially like she's a perfectionist and she's gonna keep on, she's gonna cut you out to get what she wants because she has a vision and she's not gonna stop.
Michael Jackson was the same way,
and he's a Virgo too.
Yeah.
So, period. And speaking of Beyonce, I hope everyone, LA. I'm trying to avoid clips. I've watched maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 clips and watched like 10 seconds of them and kind of just like stop because I want to be able to like enjoy the show and experience it live. So I'm like, I know the set list. I saw the set list. Hopefully, fingers crossed that she gives Atlanta the Big 3 redemption. Because she think is on there.
Yeah.
And All of Your Mind is on there. And if she plays that for us, for my show, at least, like
I've just been seeing like the viral clips that's been going on.
Yeah.
Honestly, to be honest, I think the set list is too long. A 3-hour show I think that's a little bit too long.
But it's Beyonce.
But
she can do it. She can do it.
But even like being a fan, I'll be like, hey,
I remember during Renaissance, like
that was long.
It was. And I remember when we got to America Has a Problem, I'm dancing. I'm like, girl, I'm ready to go. God damn, I'm ready to go. I'm like, I'm going to dance 24/8 at the track. But
there's no shade to like her, her production level. But it was just me being a grandpa.
Yeah. Like, cause the show, I know for us, our show started at 9 and it finished at like 11, close to 12 a.m.
It was 3 hours.
It was 3 hours?
Yeah, that show was 3 hours.
But you know what? We didn't get the Big 3. So I think adding the Big 3, it does make it 3 hours. Yeah. But she took that off for our show. So I think ours was like maybe 2 hours and a half, close to 3. Because it started at 9, we didn't get out until like 11:55. So if she would have added the Big 3, it would have been 3 hours. But again, Beyonce, continue doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see you.
Let's talk about how there's just been this kind of incessant need to really sabotage like the excitement in the media around this tour. I think that's been kind of strange to me because
what do you mean?
Well, like there was like these reports about like low ticket sales and people, and it's just like people are kind of just saying that it's regurgitated or just like recycled material that's just kind of regurgitated on the stage that without any rhyme or reason, no organization, different things like that. I don't really understand. Well, I know where it comes from, but the thing is, she's going to persevere through all of that negativity. I mean, she's going to prove everybody wrong every time.
Every time.
I think people are just waiting for her to slip. She has to be flawless, while other people can be mediocre.
Exactly.
And so I think the standard that she set for herself is really the standard that like everybody sets for her too. Like downside of that is that she can't slip. Mm-mm. She can't slip on that standard because then that brings her down to everybody else that's mediocre, and then that is going to justify the comparison.
I think what's crazy, it does make sense. It upsets me that like she's being compared to like Taylor Swift. They're not even on the same level.
It doesn't make it. It's just too. It's literally like
we've been saying,
going to the Ben and Jerry's and getting Rocky Road versus Vanilla.
Hello,
both are good,
but
both
too different.
Serve, a demographic. But it's too different.
It's too different. The only peer that Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter has is Stephanie. I don't know her last name. Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Gaga is Beyonce's only peer.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
They are on the same level.
I wouldn't even say same level, but I feel like artistically and talent-wise, yes.
Yeah.
Now, we can go back and forth about who can sing better, who can dance better, whatever, but I'm talking about just creative vision and ownership of their artistry and diversifying the genres.
Yeah.
Like, because with Joanne, she took a step into the country lane. You have Born This Way, that album, which was kind of like dance, kind of EDM, kind of, rock elements to it, and then obviously the Fame was very poppy R&B, and then Fame Monster was kind of like that gothic type of,
Then we have like Chromatica, which is kind of like, Gaga's version of Renaissance, kind of dance for the gays and all that other stuff.
And she stays committed to her era.
Yes.
Even through the negativity.
Both of them do.
They do.
Both of them do.
And so I totally agree with you that though that's really her only peer. They wanna attach her with all these other amazing R&B artists.
Yeah.
But it doesn't compare. Like Usher can't compare with Beyonce.
I mean, I feel like in a sense, Usher is probably Beyonce's peer on the
male side,
but it's kind of like
that creativity.
Big brother, big sister, little brother kind of thing. Like it's there, but it's not really there. But Gaga and Beyonce is like, because Usher can't pull a 2 million crowd in Brazil on Coco Cabana Beach. Gaga did.
Probably Brazil come out for everybody.
But let me tell you,
Brazil comes out for everybody.
and
if
crowd,
it's a free concert, I'm gonna be out there.
2.5 million people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. And the fact that she accommodated all those people with the screens and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was watching the performance, goosebumps.
Well, how come she didn't do a stadium tour?
I don't think she had the time. Gaga can do a stadium tour, but I think this tour was kind of like last minute. You want think Gaga can do a stadium? Gaga can do it. She done it before. What are you talking about? Her last tour, the last tour she went on, it was baseball stadiums, but it was stadium.
I mean, like how many shows were they?
I don't know. It was a lot of shows.
That tour didn't make any noise. I ain't gonna hold you.
I feel like if you're not like.
Maybe if you're not like in a huge
in her realm, yeah, you're not gonna know. But like, I didn't know she was on tour. Friends told me, but still, like it came, you know what I mean? And like, she went to, in Atlanta, she went to our baseball stadium here, and it was crowded. It was crowded. So I think Gaga
they
can
close out the top level. They usually close off, and then they bring the stage kind of in the middle to kind of make it seem like it's packed.
I think it was all.
Okay.
I think it was all. I think it was all the stands. I mean, Gaga can do it. I think
she's so creative. I mean, I love.
She's very creative. I feel like that show she did in Brazil was just like when it wasn't like Coachella at all. Yeah. Like I feel like certain things she couldn't do on Coachella stage, due to like sound stage and all that stuff. But this one, I was like, oh, she is doing it down. I mean, it was great choreography. It was vocal. The mic was on, and just the bass. There's a lot more bass in this particular concert that wasn't really in Coachella. So it was. I mean, I think she is capable of doing a stadium tour.
Okay.
She is definitely. If you can pull 2.5 million people,
that was a free concert. Still, please.
Still, if you can pull 2.5 million people, You can do a stadium tour. Okay.
Okay, well then let's charge prices for tickets. And then, you know,
the tour's already sold out.
I'm talking, and you're equating this crowd that she pulled in Brazil.
Yeah.
Who would come to Rebecca Black if she was coming to Brazil.
I don't think Rebecca.
You know, like, you know, that, and then being a free concert. I don't know if you can equate that to people being willing to pay a pretty penny for a ticket.
I think Brazil would do it. The Brazil comes out for everybody. Like you said, they do come out for everyone, and I think they will pay the price.
Okay.
For Gaga, absolutely. Brazil, it's a gay country. Like they gonna come out.
Yeah, but they're kind of like, let me not say because I don't even know. But are they like kind of, their economy is not the best?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there we go. Speaking of, I'm gonna go back to Beyonce.
Okay.
And I've read Miss Tina's book, Matriarch.
Yeah.
Wonderful book. It was good to read about Beyonce as a daughter.
Yeah.
We know her as the singer, but we don't really know her as like a family member. You know what I mean? And Miss Tina's perspective of her daughter was great. I think the book went into great details about Miss Tina's life from her childhood to like, you know, teenage years, to her marriages with both Matthew and Richard. And the ending, I'm not gonna, you know, spoil it for anyone, but it was shocking. I was emotional reading the ending, you know, and I was just like, you know how when you've been reading a book for like a week or so, and it's like you get towards the end, you kind of get sad, or like, you know, I was kind of getting sad because I was like, damn, like, I don't know, it just brought out emotion of me of like about life. You just never know where life is going to take you. And I am so fortunate that like I was able to read this book and like get to know Miss Tina for her, you know, and knowing what she went through as a kid. I didn't know that she grew up Catholic. I grew up Catholic, so I knew like it was very great to like know that we had that in common. You know, she talked about like how her mom's fears were like kind of put on her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was amazing books. If you haven't read Matriarch yet, please go out there and read it. Support Miss Tina Knowles. It's a great book. Wonderful read. Greg goes into great details about her whole life. I did not know like Johnny was her nephew.
Yeah.
You know, like it was her oldest sister's. He was her oldest sister's son.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. You know, I didn't know about how her mother, like, you know, was married twice. You know, it was great. I think she goes into great details about her family history. And if you really, 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 really are a great, you know, love a good memoir like me, go out there and get Matriarch.
Yeah, I love that. Like I love that it's centered around her. Yes. Yeah. You know, she's gonna, you know, talk about her superstar kids and her. I love that she calls like her bonus daughter, you know, like Kelly, you know,
and Angie,
and like, you know, related by love or something like that. You can see that on the family tree. But I love that it was more so centric to her. You know, like they kind of come later on in the book, and I think, you know, it could be a really easy thing to do in a cash grab to kind of do like a behind the scenes of the music industry as it relates to Destiny's Child, Beyonce, and what Miss Tina went through. But I love that she didn't take that approach. Because in a way that would have like exploited like her daughters. Instead, she really stuck true to the name of the book, Matriarch. If I'm calling myself the matriarch, then this book has to be about me, you know? And so I love that, you know, we got to see a little bit more, you know, about her family tree, you know, a little bit more about, you know, Beyonce and Solange as children and, you know, how, what their dynamic was. But when I was talking to my friend about this, I mean, I've been a fan of like Beyonce and Destiny's Child since '97. So a lot of the stuff I kind of already knew, you know. So I think if you've been like a fan and been like following, you know,
just confirmation,
these girls, you know, since you know, in the early stages of their career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are things that we've already known. So I think it's really surprising when people say, well, oh my God, like, I didn't know that, I don't know this. But it's just like, you know, the material is out there. They've
Mm-hmm.
been doing behind the scenes stuff and documentaries. And I remember Destiny Child had like the Survivor book. It was like during their Survivor era. They had like a book. It was kind of like a memoir type of thing.
Okay.
But there was like some nuggets and gems in there.
I didn't know that.
You can get it from Amazon. I'm sure it's like $2.
Yeah.
I suggest you read it. But yeah.
I read Michelle's book. It was called I'm about to stutter. Checking In. It was called Checking In. And she spoke about how she got into the group, Miss Tina, and it was great to see Miss Tina's perspective about how Michelle got into the group and like, you know, how they kind of just embraced her. She didn't go.
They all love each other.
Yeah. You can tell. The love is real. The love is real. And I love that, like you said, she included like Kelly and like, you know, Angie, and she talks about how Kelly was as a kid and how Solange has always been like that firecracker child. Like
she gets roomy.
Yeah,
she gets roomy, honestly.
And you know what's crazy? Like I see Blue and like more as Beyonce, Rumi as Solange. Down. Wasn't there a video of Solange and Rumi doing the dance? Was that Rumi?
Or maybe it was Blue. It was like when she was like very young.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe.
I think it was. I think it was Rumi, but Rumi, them two Carter girls are going to be destined for the stage.
Yeah, but I love that they're just being like, they're being kids.
They're having fun. Yeah,
you can tell that they are kids.
Yeah, and this is what fun
compared to like other Nepo babies or Nepo kids.
I have one in mind that's not really a kid.
I'm not gonna say any names.
Yeah,
it's just like compared to a lot of these other, you know, celebrity kids. They just seem like very. You can tell that they know their place. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and that, you know, that the Carter family, and the Knowles family, they let them be who they are, but within parameters. You can tell Miss Tina don't play. Yeah, you can tell she a grandma. Yeah, like she reminds me of like my grandma. Like,
I mean, she called herself badass. Well, when she was a kid, they used to call her badass Teeny B. So like, Tina don't play. You can tell. And on top of that, Tina is a Capricorn. Capricorn, they have a very cut, dry personality. They don't play. They're very cut and dry. And you can tell that Miss Tina was like, I'm gonna love you. I love you, but don't try me.
Get with you. Yeah. And I find like it's just so funny how people are trying to like pin her as to be like this mean, evil witch. And it's just like, like y'all never grown up in like a black household before, and like y'all grandma be snatching y'all up and be like, you know how it is growing up. Like I don't know about you, but like for me and like the black community, that has been something that's normal, and we got it together. We knew our place,
and that's why we know how to act in public.
Yeah,
we were disciplined. Other races,
exactly.
You know, some races they go out in public, they don't know how to act.
You know,
so
we have our fair share too, but we ain't gonna try our mama in public.
No,
or our grandma.
No,
we're not gonna do that.
And you know what? Like,
we don't do that.
I think the difference is that like we were growing up. Sometimes we were scared to ask too many questions. Yeah, like, you know. Don't ask too many questions. You can ask one or two, but now it's because I feel like most of the time our parents didn't know the answers to those questions. Yeah. So they kind of just like scolded us for like asking it. They didn't know the answer.
They didn't know the answer.
So I feel like Miss Tina had kind of had that with her parents. Like she asked the questions and they would probably get upset because they didn't know themselves. So Diddy's trial started. Was it? I don't know when, but it started. And Cassie testified earlier this week, and the internet went into shambles. People were saying, you know, I would have just left. Like Cassie got fucked out, blah blah. Stupid, ignorant people.
Well, how come y'all mama didn't leave when she was getting beat on top of her head?
And on top of that,
day in and day out.
Let's talk about that. And I saw a video.
How come your grandma didn't leave all them years in the 50s and 60s? Husband going out doing whatever the hell he wanted to do, but she stayed with him. No, she should have left.
And
it's not that easy to leave a domestic violence situation,
especially because scared.
It's emotionally like confusing. There's manipulation there, like especially when you're financially, you know, like dependent on somebody, or you are in love with somebody. You know, they can treat you the worst, but then they can kind of show their sweet side, and then all of a sudden you're back with that person and you forgive them.
But it's also
not
like
easy.
being scared. Like if you leave this person knowing this person have all this power, they're gonna kill you. You know what I mean? And like shout out, I saw this video. I think the person that was the lunch and lawyer. She did a video talking about like, you know, Cassie had to testify because this is a federal RICO case. If she didn't testify, they would put her in jail. And then, you know, she was talking about how people was talking about, oh, I just would have left. I just would have left. Like Cassie just should have left. She said this, and I quote, and it's a funny ass thing to say. Half of y'all are scared to ask your bosses for raise.
Yeah, I that.
Half of y'all are scared to ask your bosses for a raise. Half of y'all are in a toxic group chat but are scared to leave. So what do you think what do you think you would do in Cassie's shoes? You dating a high hip hop mogul who has power, and you're gonna leave, and then you're gonna leave him and his ego? He's gonna kill you. So Cassie had to do what she had to do. I give her the most respect. I had never been in a situation like that. I can't say what I would have done. Right.
Yeah.
But to do what she had to do, the world, if I could give her the world, I would give Cassie the world, because we need that. Like, she was the one that started this whole thing, and I'm so happy that she, you know, found the courage to do it, and I'm happy that she was able to find love again.
Yeah.
Because to go through that and to find love again, like, I know, like, she was
impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, it seems impossible.
Impossible. And I'm so happy, like, she was able to, like, do it. And I'm happy that she was able to, like, she has a husband who loves her. You know what I mean? She has a community and people rooting for her. Fuck all the ignorant girls and boys who don't know any better, who do not know anything about being in a toxic situation like that, you know? So, Cassie, you got my full support, girl. I believe you.
Yeah.
We are all rooting for you. We're rooting for you. And then Dawn testified.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Aubrey is testified.
I know Aubrey been.
She finna let it loose.
You know, I wish. And when I was on Twitter, I was blocked. Aubrey blocked me.
Did you really?
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
No, you was trolling her. So
no, I think. You know, I think what it was.
I ain't never been blocked by nobody.
No, let me tell you. I think this is why I think why Aubrey blocked me.
Okay.
You know that time she was in Greece and she was posting photos. It looked fake.
I don't remember.
She was posting photos like she was in Greece. It was AI. It was fake. It was a fake background.
Yeah, she been posting.
Yeah.
Like
And I was laughing. Someone tweeted it and I laughed under the tweet. And I guess she blocked everyone who was. And I just caught her straight. It was funny. I'm like, girl, we can tell this photo is fake. But girl, anyways, I'm not on Twitter anymore. So if I were to go back,
I'll screenshot and send it to you.
Yeah. But I'm happy that Aubrey testified. Aubrey been talking about this for years. This is her time to shine, baby. And Aubrey about to shut it. She's about to put the nail in Diddy's coffin for him to be in jail, baby. Diddy is not getting out of jail.
Yeah, because she was the only one that really didn't sign like an NDA, right?
It was her and someone else. I think it was Dawn.
And she was the only one that one of the only ones that didn't accept
his offer
for the Masters, right? And ownership of because that would have been.
Because now she won't be able to talk. Yeah. But baby, I'm here for it.
But what I'm really upset about is really these people, especially a lot of people in our community that are, you know, just making excuses, you know, for Diddy, and just really, I guess, increasing like their blame on Cassie. And I just think it's so disheartening. But you know what, I was kind of thinking about it. It's really a way to really justify their own behavior in relationships. You know what I mean? And it's a way to kind of like push off accountability in their own life. Because maybe they are going through a similar situation, you know, as Diddy and Cassie. Or they are the abusers in their, you know, relationship, or whatever the case. And I think these people that are like apologists for Diddy, you know, these people, even with Chris Brown, even with DDG, which we're going to go into next too. Yeah. These, it's crazy the amount of disrespect that people so easily have for these women in these very vulnerable states and positions, and it's really wild, to see. I think it's just, but also people rage bait. Everything's about engagement. So if you say something that's edgy or that's like an unpopular opinion, of course people are going to come to that post and engage with it, drag with it, and that's how people make money. So I think that's part of part of it too. But nonetheless, it still doesn't make it any better. It just adds, fuel to the fire.
It does. It's just,
I just don't understand how we are not protecting our women. And I really saw it start with Kamala. And then from there, it just trickled on to every other person,
It did. And so it's kind of similar to R. Kelly. In a sense, like how we all knew what R. Kelly was doing, but everyone kind of just turned a blind eye to mind their business.
But they made a joke out of it.
Or they made a joke out of it, stuff like that. And same thing with Diddy. Like, I feel like a lot of people, we didn't know, the common people didn't know, but the people in Hollywood knew. They kind of turned a blind eye. And then when it came out, people were like making videos and jokes about his freak offs and buying, all the baby oil. It's not funny. This is someone's trauma. This is someone, what they went through, and now where people are making jokes about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I didn't find any of those videos of those people going to the stores, stacking up on baby oil and I'm going to a freak off. It wasn't funny. It just showed what type of character you are, what kind of person you are. And to laugh at somebody's trauma is something that it just, I just can't. I feel like as a community, I'm gonna go back for a second. As a community, I feel like we all laughed at Tina Turner's trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all did, and that's why she left the country. We all made jokes about, eat the cake anime or, all the other stuff. We all make jokes about it. And looking back, I'm just like, this is somebody's trauma. This is somebody's story, and instead of us, taking it seriously, we make jokes about it. And I'm not going to do that again. That's why when people were doing that, the whole thing with the whole cast, the whole Diddy stuff with the baby oil, I just didn't find it funny. It just wasn't funny,
Yeah, and I think there's no amount of justification for the treatment that Cassie went through.
Yeah.
Now there's leaked videos of Cassie seemingly having fun and embracing Diddy, trying to really create the narrative that she wasn't in trouble, she wasn't being abused, she was complicit in all of these activities and stuff, and that she loved him down. But if we really talk about, because there's this thing about grooming, this person was groomed, that person was groomed, people just throw that around so easily.
They do.
But now in this situation, now those grooming, people, now they're gone.
Yeah.
Now it's just but could it be that Cassie was groomed? And, into loving this man and, making this one person your whole identity, but still being abused in spite of. Sometimes that's confusing for somebody that's groomed, that's conditioned to love someone unconditionally through the mistreatment, through the abuse. So if she came into the situation very young, I mean, that's all she knows. So I think give people like Cassie a little bit of grace. I'm sure all of those years weren't totally terrible. I'm sure a few of them were great.
I also think she was doing it to survive.
Yeah.
It was probably her survival mode.
She thought this is what I'm supposed to do to get famous.
Yeah. Or when people talk about the videos of her being happy, when you're in an abusive situation, sometimes you have to act happy to survive.
To
you know
save
what I mean?
face.
To save face. Because she's probably if I'm not smiling in these photos, something could happen to me when we're at home. You know what I mean? He probably told her, we just never know. Did he probably told her, you better fucking smile in these photos, or else. You know what I'm saying? So we just never know. But I'm not going to discredit her story or anything and say it's not true. Da 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 da. I'm not gonna do that because this is her story. This is her life. And only thing I'm gonna do is just believe her. I'm always gonna believe the woman. You know what I mean? Because these niggas ain't shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm always gonna believe the woman. And if it comes out, you know, that things wasn't true, from the woman's, you know, perspective, cool. But Cassie, like, the video itself of them in the hotel room was all that you need to know.
That's all you needed to know.
That's all you needed to know.
All you needed to know.
Because, like, people like, oh, she settled too quick. She settled too quick. She got her money.
People think they are just like these legal experts.
Hello?
They think that, you know,
they're in law school.
Yeah, or they know when really, like, you need a civics course. You need to learn about, you know, like, the legalities of things. You need to. People think that they're record execs, marketing experts, you know,
fashion stylists,
like all from what you observe through the lens of social media.
Yeah.
Not knowing that social media in itself is biased. It's
Yeah.
based off of the algorithm. So you don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the narrative is being perpetuated on social media.
Absolutely.
You know that.
And that's all. And that's it.
That's
and
it.
You go
That's
off
you know.
your opinion based off that.
That's it.
Speaking of, with Halle and DDG,
Yeah.
It all makes sense now. You know, I remember it was a while ago. You know, he would always be on social media posting live videos, and he gifted Halle with a gift, and she looked like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm thinking he probably abused her and then gifted her after the abuse, because like you can tell in the videos, like she wasn't that happy about it, but she kind of knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like showing face to smash her head against the steering wheel, chip her tooth, to throw her phone out the window, say go get it, bitch, to the mother of your child. And you're only, what, 25, 26 years old? So that means that you grew up around that and thought it was okay. I didn't really like him before. Now I can't stand the dude.
These streamers, I'm telling you, you know, and I always tell my, you know, cousin, because she has a son that's kind of like a preteen, kind of like in that, you know, a gamer, like to stream and stuff. To really increase your focus on making sure that he understands what's right and what's wrong, you know, when it comes to how you interact with the world. And I think with streamers, they're so chaotic, they're so rambunctious, they're so mischievous, and everything is done just to go viral. But that behavior is dangerous, but it's reinforcement for these kids to act that way, because they see that they have the people that are subscribing to them. They get the money, they get all of these things, and they are rewarded for being just rambunctious assholes. And that's really kind of grooming and conditioning this young generation to grow up and to be disrespectful to women, to, you know, not understand how to like act in a, you know, public setting, to, you know, to be rewarded for having bad behavior. And with DDG, you see all of these like 14-year-olds just speaking crazy about women. Just because of this because, you know, they look at their favorite streamer as a guy, and it's really sickening and it's really sad. And they do control the vibe of social media, because that's the demographic that's mostly on it. So it's really kind of shaping and molding like this narrative of how to act. And that's what I'm kind of nervous about, because they're losing the plot. And they're young. They're like kids. So they don't understand the severity of violence and domestic abuse, and, you know, what custody means, and, you know, the legality of things when it comes to restraining orders, when it comes to all of these things. So I don't know.
It's
because there's like a smear campaign right now going on against Halle.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like on social, like I see it like on Twitter.
Oh, see Twitter.
Academics.
Yeah. Don't even say less.
That page, like he just is posting all of these like disparaging stuff about Halle, and academics. I don't have to say anything else. He has an allegiance to losers, and abusers.
Yeah,
but he has a huge following,
which is crazy.
And so those streaming, they all stream. It's that whole network. It's that whole community. And if this is the role model that's being set for these young kids, I'm scared.
Yeah, because
they're gonna vote soon, right?
Yeah,
they're gonna be 18 and be able to vote,
and they're probably gonna vote for someone like our current president because he sends them money, or quote unquote.
Or, this is the reward. Like, you sexually assault people, you fraud people, you're racist, you're misogynistic, and then you're able to hold the highest seat of the land. You get rewarded. So, I'm really kind of just really disheartened and upset and disappointed at just where this country is going. And it's really being molded by social media. So I think we all need to really be cognizant of that and wake up and make sure that you are parenting your young boys.
Please.
It shouldn't be why didn't she leave? It shouldn't be why is Halle like keeping Halo away from DDG and that's the father of her son. No, it should be why are y'all putting hands on women?
Right.
Change the narrative.
Yeah.
Focus. Zoom out for a bit. You know what I mean? And understand what the actual goal is.
Because at the end of the day, Cassie and Halle are mothers, of course. They're sisters. They're daughters. You wouldn't want someone to do that to your loved one.
No.
So why talk bad about another woman who's going through it and saying, oh, she's probably lying or whatever it is? Because I'm not on Twitter or stuff like that, so I don't know what the narratives are, what people are saying on there.
Yeah.
But to have a smear campaign against Halle?
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's like an actual smear, but like I just see like this increased like violence towards Halle, and it's so funny because Damson, who I forgot, he's one of my favorite of the Met too.
Yeah,
he ate that up.
Yeah, he ate it up.
But Damson had to come out and make a post. He said, "I don't talk about stuff like this, but I'm seeing this increased type of violence, towards black women and women in general who are in these vulnerable states and in these like abusive situations, and it has to stop." He was just like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
So if people are waking up and starting to kind of come out and, if they have it on their heart to say something, then that means that there's an actual problem.
And what's crazy is like, it took, Damson is black, of course, but he's from the UK. So it took a person from another country to like call out the issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes, abuse is worldwide. I'm just like, but it's so sad that people are like, just not empathetic towards women.
No.
I saw a video of when the news broke out, DDG was on live or something like that, and his friends like, don't believe that, he's a good. I knew it was true right then and there.
Right then and there.
The way they were going so hard, like, don't believe anything you read on the internet, and he's like looking all shocked and scared. I'm like, because you're guilty. And you thought that she wasn't going to do anything about it, and she did.
Well, this was back in January. Like, if I have it right, I didn't really investigate it much, but this happened in January when she asked for the restraining order.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if I have it right, and if she asked for the restraining order in January, you knew this was coming. So why are you acting so surprised?
Right.
Now.
Right. He probably thought...
Performative.
Yeah. He wants sympathy, and you're not getting it from me. You're not getting it from me.
But
I didn't like you then.
He's trying to get it from his viewers.
Yeah. And they're giving it to him.
Yeah.
They're giving it to him because they're stupid and they're ignorant just like him.
And they're 14-year-old little boys.
And grown men who didn't even have a daddy growing up, so don't even know the difference between like or how to love a woman or how to treat a woman, or like they have no role models.
Yeah.
So they just going by and putting all of their hope and dreams into this one person, and that's just stupid enough. We have come to the end of the show. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was pretty deep, and we talked about a lot. and stuff. But now it's time for us to get into our game, Icon or Legend. And what we're gonna do is, again, list people that we spoke about this episode and see if there are either icon or legend. Icon, of course, is someone that has done very, iconic stuff, or you can see them. You can dress up as them for Halloween, or they have iconic hair or whatever. And a legend is someone who will be talked about forever. Okay, so first off, we're gonna start off with Chris Brown.
Icon.
Neither.
Icon.
Neither. Well, you know what? His cases are iconic.
Yeah.
His court cases. So yeah, he's iconic that way.
Be iconic for like
a negative
bad stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think Chris. I think was so sad that when he first came out, he was very talented. Very, I was like, ooh, I was rooting for him. Is your man on the floor? And now it's like,
Yeah, I mean, like his time with Rihanna.
Yeah,
that was an iconic time in pop culture.
It was.
It was, a very sad time, for both their careers. But it was iconic.
It was iconic.
He's an iconic person. People know Chris Brown for, whatever.
I'll give him that. He's not legendary. I don't think he'll ever be legendary.
No.
All right, Diddy.
Iconic. Iconic just because being a ruthless
piece of shit.
A ruthless and successful business mogul. Honestly. He's one of the first, black billionaires that we were able to really be happy and proud to acknowledge. Of course he's abusive and all those things came, but it's just he's, someone that people are going to know years down the line. Whether it's the people that he discovered and, the amazing bops that he was behind to this situation with Cassie.
Even the shows. I work for Diddy. I do want to make one request. I want his kids to be in jail too. You want to support your daddy so bad, support him in the jail.
I try not to touch the kids because it's.
But your daddy did all this stuff. But you know what he did.
But it's hard. I can't imagine if I was super close with my parents and they did some really crazy stuff. Two things can be true at the same time. I can not agree with your behavior, but also I do want to support you because you're my family. You're all I know. And who knows? He probably did not. They probably saw things, but he probably treated them very differently than how he treated his artists and Cassie. So they have a different experience with him versus how he treats other people.
Well, I'm talking about the older kids.
That too, same.
Because Quincy, Diddy's not even your daddy.
But he's financially, dependent on him.
But he tried to kill Albie Shore. Allegedly, Albie Shore.
I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory or what. We don't have the receipts.
We don't have the receipt for that, but allegedly, that's what was said. Okay, so yeah, Diddy, iconic. Okay,
I mean the name is iconic from going from Sean Combs and Puff Daddy to just Puff to iconic.
And he had a lot of iconic pop culture moments.
Yeah,
so I would give him that, but still rot in jail. Okay, Tiana Taylor.
Neither. I don't think neither. I think she has the potential to do some legendary things. She got a lot of things to do. She got a lot of.
I would say she has the potential to do a lot of iconic things.
Okay.
I don't think she has the potential to be a legend.
You're right.
But she has the potential. She's on the brink of becoming iconic.
Yeah.
I would give her that.
If she stays in her creative directing bag, she can be behind, a lot of great moments.
Yeah.
For music, for fashion, for whatever.
Yeah.
If she gets behind the right artist.
Yeah.
And I love her as an artist, so I really, I want another album from her. Because, I love her music, but I love her voice. But yeah.
Okay.
You love Sabrina Carpenter.
No, oh, okay, but I like Tiana Taylor. I listened to her, her album, the one she's on the bed. She's like, oh, it was a good album. It's a good album.
What she do?
Work this pussy. I'm on the bed. I'm just exhausted after a long day.
I will say that album art did not match. I didn't understand it. I didn't get the purpose behind. I didn't get the concept, but whatever.
I mean, Rose,
she looked great.
She did.
The body looked great.
Okay, Miss Tina knows.
Oh, legendary.
Yeah.
She's like a legendary.
I mean, she gave birth to a legend.
Two of them.
I mean, two. Yeah. Yes, two of them. Two. Because Solange is a legend in her own way. I think Beyonce is iconic, but I think it's not her fashion, and it's not like her looks makes her iconic. It's her shows.
Who, Beyonce?
Beyonce.
But her looks make her, even though she's not, to me, like, people act like she's not fashion forward. She's just not as fashion forward as like a Rihanna. That's
yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they say that, they kind of compare her to Rihanna, and Rihanna is going to kill her and eat her up in that lane all day. But if Rihanna is number one, Beyonce is number 3 or top 5.
I would say top 10.
So fine,
yeah,
but like Beyonce didn't turn out some looks.
Yeah,
she didn't turn out some looks. She really gave that ghetto fabulous aesthetic that we know and love from like the early 2000s.
And that's thanks to her mama.
And Ty Hunter, which is And
I read in the book that they found Ty at BB.
Yeah.
He's working at BB, and then like he was their favorite consultant, and it was like, you went on a tour with us, and I'm like, so you just never know like where you're gonna be. You know what I mean?
And what's crazy is that they all look alike. They look like family.
Yeah.
So I thought they were family.
And I read in the book, KJ Moody is her great nephew or
like cousin or
something like that. Yeah. So I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah, but that was nepotism that was not deserved, because I cannot stand
the looks he gave.
Look he gave.
That's a whole episode right there.
Hey.
Rihanna,
legend.
Yeah. I think she's more of a legend. Well, I feel like the Met made her iconic. Yeah. But her business and everything, and Fenty Skin, and all that made her a legend.
For sure. I mean, I'm going to die on this hill. But honestly, I think it's a hill that I'm not alone in. But like, she has arguably the best music catalog. I'm going to say even like a notch over Beyonce. The difference between, I think, her and Beyonce is that Beyonce is conceptual. Mm-hmm. So she's able to come out with like a song like Run the World. And I remember at the time, everybody was like, what is this song? Even me, I was just like, okay, I don't really get it. Like,
I didn't get it, yeah.
But she performs that song as if it's a #1 record. And I think it barely hit the top 40 when it debuted. But that song is an anthem for female empowerment during the Me Too movement, during for Women's, International Month or whatever, or International Women's Day or something like that. I mean, that song is played on repeat. It's really a symbol of female empowerment. Yeah. But it's so crazy that like it didn't even hit the top. It barely hit the top 40.
I think what made me like the song when she performed it, I think it was the Billboard Award. She had that white screen, the white screen, and all that. That's what made me. I like the song.
But that's the thing. She is a performer.
Yeah.
So she's able to really play and do whatever she wants with music, even if people don't understand it. But she realizes it in her performance, and then people get it. Right. Like, oh, okay, cool. So I just think that like that's the difference between Rihanna and Beyonce. Rihanna can just come out with a song and it's a hit. You get it immediately. Yeah.
We found love. Ooh.
Even though she is not really invested in the songwriting process or anything like that. People just give her a song. She's like, okay, let me record it, and then
it became like
whatever. But
it became iconic pop. I think my favorite Rihanna albums is Talk That Talk.
Yeah, I like her. I will say her best album is like Anti.
Really?
Conceptual wise,
Okay.
I think the album made the most sense. But the other albums I liked, but they were just like full of just singles to me. There was no concept to them. I like conceptual albums.
Okay.
I like for you to thread a meaning throughout whether it's through your visuals, whether it's through whatever the case. Like it has to have some sort of like intention. And for Rihanna, I don't think she has intention with her music. It's like it's all vibes and energy. It's like if she was on the Molly that day, then that song resonated with her. If she was high as fuck, like on weed the next day, then like, you get a different vibe.
That's true.
But
That's true. Okay, I mean,
I don't know if that makes sense.
I get it. I get what you're trying to say. I get it. I do think like Rihanna has a lot of hits, a lot of good albums. I mean, because she was going out, she was dropping albums every year. Remember, it was an annual thing.
That's why I was just like, girl, like these are just saying, like I know your label was just trying to tell you to like just come up with some shit because it just didn't make sense.
What's the label? Is it?
I don't know what label she was with.
I don't remember. But okay. Y'all, this is the end. We made it. We made it. The battery is dying. And it's flashing. So we gotta go. But until next time, y'all. Hope you have a good week. Enjoy the rest of the month of May. Summertime is blooming. It's the frosting. So get your whole clothes ready. Okay? All right, y'all. Have a good one.